everyone. Welcome to FreeThinkers Fireside, where we put the human in humanists, one cozy chat at a time. My name is Helen, also known as Hell's Bells. And this week, I have my wonderful friend, John Gleason here, Godless engineer. So let's say hi to John. Hi, John.
Hi.
Hi, how are you, my friend?
I'm doing pretty good. I just got in here at the Orlando hotel for Free Flow, and so just getting settled in and everything like that.
Nice, cool. I wish I was there. I couldn't make it this year, so.
You're not going to be here this year?
I'm not going to be there. No. Like some stuff happened, and I just couldn't make it. I'll tell you later.
Okay.
I'll tell you later. So tell the people who you are and what you do.
Yeah. So I am the Godless engineer, and I run various social media platforms and everything like that, or brands, whatever. And I just I try to educate people on atheism as well as secularism and where politics and atheism kind of coincide, which is very important right now with the current administration that's really pushing hard this, Christian nationalism sort of regime. I try to educate people about that. I try to be a good advocate for atheists and a secular, I guess, vision for America.
Okay, awesome. Thank you for being here. So you did tell me you wanted to talk about Christian nationalism, kids. Yay. So excited. So why did you want to talk about Christian nationalism? Why I sip my wine and not think about the horror that I live in?
Well, so I really wanted to discuss Christian nationalism primarily because of the fact that I've been doing this for 12, 13, 14 years, maybe something like that. I've been doing it for a long time. And the problem that I found with speaking out against a lot of the preliminary, I guess we could say, Christian nationalist stuff, with a lot of the preliminary Christian nationalist stuff, what you have are these small steps, and a lot of people like to criticize these small steps. They like to try to act like, oh, this is not all that big of a deal. Like you can't just sit through having "In God We Trust" like plastered everywhere. You can't just sit through God being added to the Pledge of Allegiance and all this other stuff. And so I wanted to talk about Christian nationalism because it's not a blitz attack like we're seeing right now. Like this is obviously a sort of a blitz thing, but leading up to this blitz, there's been small incremental things that have happened over the years that have gotten to this point where they it kind of feels like, oh, this is the point where we blitz and we just we overwhelm the system and we force this through to where it's just simply unchangeable. Like they're trying to change the face of America to a Christian nationalist nation, to the point where it can't be changed back. And that's the whole point of this whole blitz thing that they're doing right now.
It is a little scary, and I don't think it's appreciated enough that they've been playing the long game for a very long time. This is just the manifestation of their long game, which is terrifying. Because we've been aware of it, and you as an average citizen, there's been plenty of grassroots organizations and fights against it, but when you get people into positions of power, they're actually able to cause real changes to the system that we're seeing now. It is now this is the manifestation of what we've been fearing all this time.
It definitely is. It definitely is because in doing the activism for as long as I have, through all this, I've been able to be there and notice like some of the more escalating parts of this. Of course, we could go all the way back to the moral majority that was pushed out there. I don't know if you remember the moral majority. That was led by what's his name? His son runs Liberty University, or he ran Falwell.
Falwell was a Falwell, yeah.
Yeah, Jerry Falwell. He did the moral majority, but this the moral majority and a lot of these like political groups that are very Christian based are sort of the first stepping stones to this push for Christian nationalism, because what they did was they took religion, right? And they took aspects of their religion, their religious belief, and they made them political. And they forced that into the public spaces for them to be political. Because if you think about it, when Roe v. Wade got that decision got handed down, like abortion was not a political topic, a religiously political topic, I'll say. And because it didn't matter like religious or not, like everybody wanted the right to an abortion. Not everybody, like a majority of people wanted it. And what the moral majority did was they took this one topic, abortion, amongst other topics, but what they did was they made it integral to the religious identity of Christians now. And so that was kind of like one of the first stepping stones. And then you had all these other little stepping stones along the way. You've got like where I'm from in Alabama, you have the 10 Commandments in schools and on public grounds. Like that didn't only happen in Alabama, but that's like one of those stepping stones, And so like pushing for all of these religious sort of symbols to be put in public spaces, into public schools and everything, that's another step. And so when I was coming up as an atheist activist, and I started noticing these things, like I had pushback on me from obviously Christians too, but from some other people, like, oh, what does it matter if this particular thing is religious and it's forced upon you? I mean, this is like, oh, what does it matter if there are the 10 Commandments are posted up in public school classrooms? Like, can't you just ignore them? Can't you just have your child ignore them? What does it matter if God was inserted into the Pledge of Allegiance, or God was plastered on our money in the 50s or whatnot? This doesn't bother you. This shouldn't affect you. Like, this is so inconsequential shit, you should just ignore it. That is the kind of thought-stopping apologetics that Christian nationalists use so that they can sneak these things in and get those stepping stones. And so, like, if you think back to all of the stuff in the news cycle that we've experienced since the late 70s, every time there's something that mixes Christianity and politics, that's a stepping stone. And they start small. They start with things that are quote unquote inconsequential, and they move from those inconsequential things into larger and larger things, larger and larger things, like trying to get Roe v. Wade overturned, which they did successfully, in Trump's first term. Trump set up the situation in the Supreme Court for it to be overturned, but it wasn't overturned until the Biden administration. So like all of these little stepping stones sort of allowed them to build a bridge from where they were, in the 1960s and 70s to where they are now in this whole sort of blitzkrieg attack on the American government and the American way of life. They're desperately trying to push as much Christian nationalist stuff through so that they can ultimately change the face of America, so that we are irreversibly Christian nationalists for the foreseeable future. And I hope that we can push back hard enough on that.
I'm hoping to. I just wish it didn't get to this point, because like like I really like the Establishment Clause. Crazy. I know that sounds crazy. Because yeah, like I kind of just tolerated, the Pledge of Allegiance, having gotten in and on our money, and and people saying, hope you have a blessed day, blah blah blah. I was like, okay, like these things are kind of inconsequential to my ability to navigate my life. But now it's not that. It is now you're taking away rights. Now you're saying now you want to have an institutionalized religion, and I think that we kind of thought that this group was maybe stupid, or because we kind of I'm not saying everybody did this, and I'm not trying to say like we were lazy. That's not what I'm saying. I think that I don't think there was enough appreciation and enough education to really understand what the extreme Christian right was going to do, and that they were playing the long game. And I think we kind of got used to certain checks and balances being in place, that we thought that this couldn't happen here, and then lo and behold, it did. So
yeah. And I mean, that's the sentiment that a lot of people had prior to the Trump administration, like even the first Trump administration. You had Trump throwing around all this rhetoric even back in 2016, and people were just easily writing him off like, oh, they're not going to do that. Or like for instance with Roe v. Wade and the right to abortion, everybody was like, oh, that's settled law, oh, they're not going to overturn that, oh, they're not going to do this, they're not going to do that. And it's like, no, it's actually very easy to overturn that, because all you have to do is set up the system the way that you need to, and then it can be easily overturned, because it's just a Supreme Court decision, and a new Supreme Court can overturn a previous Supreme Court's decision. So, I mean, that's literally all he had to do. He had to coordinate with the Republicans to block Obama's appointments, the Republicans had to do that for the next Republican president, hopefully. And so once they did that, and then they were able to confirm 2 Supreme Court judges and pack, the court, they thought at least they were able to get like anything through. Of course, in this newest round of stuff, we've come to find that some of the Supreme Court isn't as compromised as the Republicans originally thought they were. I'm thinking about, Amy Coney Barrett. Apparently, there's a lot of Republicans that are just not happy with her right now because of her dissent against, the other Republicans on the or the other conservatives rather on the bench. And so, a lot of people that think that, oh, this could never happen or that could never happen, they're not thinking about how the system can be manipulated, because like while there is a system of checks and balances as we're seeing right now, that doesn't seem to matter to them. I mean, in the continuing resolution that is going to get voted on by the Senate right now, and it's already passed the House, it gives Donald Trump and Elon Musk unilateral control to stop any kind of appropriations, to cut it off. And so they can cancel any amount of funding that they want to. If the Democrats give them that power, then I feel like no matter how much time, like if they do for the rest of the year, that we're totally fucked. If we do for the 30-day thing that Schumer wants to do, I feel like we're still fucked, because they can do as you saw, they literally flipped. They flipped a strong economy that was supposed to grow from 2.5% or grow by 2.5% in January. They totally flipped that and had it go the exact opposite direction with a negative GDP growth.
Right.
And so, and that's just in a matter of about a month or so. So if you give them 30 days, to like debate and all this other shit like Schumer wants to do. Like you're gonna see them cut funding to everything. They're gonna consolidate even more power, and they're gonna turn this nation into a Christian nationalist theocracy. And I get how some people might think that I'm being alarmist about this, but it's literally happening right in front of our eyes. Every decision they make is a calculated decision so that they can consolidate power into the executive branch and then push Christian nationalism on everybody else.
And I don't think there's enough for Christians that don't want this. Because there are members of religions that don't want it. And even if they think they want it, they don't, because it's not going to benefit the average person. It's going to benefit the oligarchs. It's going to benefit these people that want to consolidate power for themselves. And for them to do that, they have to take power away from the average person. They can't do it if we're mobilized, we're able to, make a change that we want to happen, because under the Constitution, that's what we're supposed to be able to do. But that being said, if we don't have a strong populace that is willing to push against those things, then yeah, they can just basically tear the Constitution to shreds and even use stuff that's within the law to push their agendas forward. Because the only way you can fight a law until it becomes law. You can't fight it when it's a bill.
Right.
Yep.
But as far as like the Christian nationalist efforts are going right now, I really hope that we can fight against it. But before, I'm hoping not we, but I'm hoping that the Democrats that are in Congress right now can actually get a little bit of a spine and fight back against this and stop all of the shit that's going on right now. But as it seems like they're just I feel like they want to stop things, but they're still playing by the old rules. And Donald Trump and the conservatives, they're trying to redefine these rules. So they're playing by a totally different set of rules. And I think that the Democrats, if they want to be successful, they need to start playing by these new rules. And I just don't know if they can do that in time.
Is it old people syndrome? I don't know what it is, because the Democrat Party, they just suck. I'm sorry. No, sorry, not sorry. Because they're not strong. They're not kind of like the Republicans are like a dog with a bone right now, and they're not letting go of it. And there's a bunch of Democrats walking around like they're dogs, but they're like 6-week-old puppies. They're like, well, maybe if I concede a little bit, I'll get part of the bone. And I'm just kind of sick of it. I really am, because they kind of really need to push against this shit, and they're not really doing that. And that's the thing that's really so scary, because we're not dealing with normal Republicans, that have to concede, and you have to have conversations with, try to find a way to make it work. These people are just going to bulldoze. Elon's not even an American citizen, and look how much fucking damage he's done.
Yeah, I remember when Trump was about to be inaugurated, I edited up, one of a meme that had been floating around for a while, and that's with, things are cooler when you stand in front of shit that you've destroyed or something like that. And so it had various movies where people walked away from explosions, and then one of them was Elon Musk standing in front of the Twitter sign, because he's totally turned that place into a cesspool. But I replaced the background with the White House or no, the Capitol, and the American flag, because that's what he was going to do. And everybody's like, has he done that yet though? Has he destroyed America? And it's just wait and see. And so I feel like I could repost that now, and it would still be so valid, because that's exactly what Elon Musk is trying to do. He's trying to destroy the very fabric of our democracy, and it's so that he can personally get richer. Even though I mean that's his goal, And even though
I
right
don't know
now
how you get any richer.
yeah. Well, so right now he's lost some money, like on the order of billions right now. I get that.
You lost 13 billion in Tesla stock this week.
Yeah. And so like he's losing a lot of money right now, but it doesn't change the fact that his goal is to funnel more government funds into his personal companies, and we already see that happening. We see that happening with like the FAA, and switching their Verizon contract over to Starlink. And then of course there's it seems like Elon Musk is really wanting to replace NASA with basically SpaceX, and because there's already there's already plans in the work that I've seen floating around online of them breaking NASA up into like mini field offices, and so you're not gonna have like an actual overarching NASA organization. You're going to have satellite offices around the country that handle very specific areas of like our space, our space area of the government, and I feel like they're going to fill in the holes there with SpaceX contracts, and I mean I think that the reason why I'm saying specifically SpaceX instead of like some of these other private space businesses is because of Elon Musk's integration into the current administration. I think that there's going to be preferential treatment given there. I mean, because Elon Musk has already done that. Like he's already given preferential treatment.
Right. And I also think too, like and also those private contracts, those other private, space companies, he can just buy out, and absorb them into SpaceX and give the people that work for those private companies jobs, because that's one thing he's very good at is the acquisition of other companies, and he absorbs them in. Because one thing he did make a lot of money, daddy gave him a lot of money, but also he's a very good investor. That's how he's been able to make his money grow for so long. It's because he's not a genius in any sense of the fucking word. He's not coming up with new engineering ideas. He's not coming up with like these new space technologies. These are people that work very, very hard, that are doing that. He just happens to have the money to back it because he's looking for results, and he wants that return on his investment.
Right. And I mean, it's going to be easy for him to starve out the other space companies and be able to starve them to the point where they either have to go bankrupt or sell to pay off any debts. And then he just buys them up and integrates them into SpaceX. And so then you have just, Elon with a monopoly on satellite communications. He's going to have a monopoly on the electric vehicle market. He's going to have a monopoly on, space travel and like space stuff, at least here in America. I mean, he's looking at growing his net worth by far more than he's already lost.
Yeah, and that's it's one of those things that when we're looking at it from that kind of perspective, thanks, Jason. Wow, yeah. But like this whole thing is just insane because but this is like, it's just insane because also this is just the result of the government and business fucking each other. This is the result. They weren't kept separate. We got, there's too much private interest, too much private money. Corporations became people, everybody, and suddenly they can donate money and bribe lobbyists and so on and so forth. This is the result of that. And the Christian nationalist movement, it's not about God at all.
Right.
This is about capitalism. They wrap it in the rhetoric of God because then you can say, this is all prosperity gospel shit, that God bless me with this power. God bless me with this. It's just a justification to be a terrible person.
Yeah, and that's. I'm glad that you brought that up because Christian nationalism is not about Christian theology. That's
No.
a lot of people try to couple Christian theology with Christian nationalism, and it just really doesn't work that way because like I wouldn't say that Donald Trump was any kind of serious Christian. He doesn't care about Christian theology. What he does care about though is using Christianity as both a weapon and as a shield. It shields him from criticism from the religious right that's out there that's sort of controlling the conservative party right now, and it's a weapon that he can use against his political enemies. He can use Christianity like as a purity test, like these people are godless heathens and all this other stuff, and that brings up something that I was thinking about earlier is that given that Christian theology is kind of divorced from Christian nationalism, they will ultimately have to pick a version of Christianity to implement. And so, who's to say that this version of Christianity that they want to force upon everybody is going to match anything that any denomination is, going to want? I mean, I think that a lot of the conservatives are fundamentalists, which Christian nationalists tend to be fundamentalists, but if you're looking for a good picture of how bad it can get, you should take a look at like Stephen Anderson's church or any of the independent fundamentalist Baptists out there that preach anti-LGBTQ stuff, anti-trans stuff. They preach against freedom of speech, freedom of choice. Even I think that's the ultimate goal. I mean, we see this playing out right in front of us now. We have Donald Trump, who swore to uphold the Constitution, has repeatedly violated the Constitution, especially with calling for protesters to be arrested. You've got people today calling for the arrests of people that were protesting in Donald Trump's tower over there in New York, which is a violation. You've got them deporting American citizens. Like there was a family that got deported. The parents were undocumented, but all of their children were American citizens, and they got deported. And part of that is due to Donald Trump's crusade against the 14th Amendment. So and all of that's very integral to Christian nationalism. This is xenophobia, this push for like the sort of white, very white male Christian sort of persona that they want to put out there. And so, it's amazing to me that people still try to connect Christian theology to Christian nationalism. They're working on a totally different level, and it's a very fundamentalist kind of level.
And it's just insane. Because I was listening. There's a channel really called the New Evangelicals, and the man that runs it, and he is a progressive Christian, and he went to some Turning Point Christian Nationals event. And he spent 3 days there, and it was all hate speech stuff against trans people because that's the new boogeyman. 1% of the population is the boogeyman.
Yeah.
So it's fucking stupid. But it's the same rhetoric over and over again. If it's not Black people or Latina people or the gays, it's not the trans people. It's or new wave feminism or whatever. Pick a boogeyman. It's the same rhetoric. It's the same salad, different dressing.
Yeah, I mean, if every time you hear them reference DEI or blame something on DEI, just whatever racial slur will fit in to whatever they're saying, that's exactly what they're saying. They're just using coded language in order to not get in trouble.
Woke has kind of lost all its meaning. Like anything you don't like is too woke for you, and it's like that's not the point of that word, but you kind of, it lost its context because, you know, racist or racist. So, you know, it's one of those things that, you know, after a while, like we're all aware of it and we try to be conscious of, you know, marginalized people because, you know, we're compassionate people because it affects everybody. Because like, even if you don't think it's going to affect you, it's going to affect you or someone that you know or care about. It's going to, because this is the way when we're, you know, fascism works. You know,
Right.
you're, you know, it has that trickle effect, you know, and you don't think it's going to happen to you. That's just why I get, you know, these people, they're like, oh no, Elon, like, I don't know why anyone thinks that Elon Musk really cares about them, or Donald Trump really cares about them. Like, I don't understand this at all, because everything about just those two people alone says they don't give a shit about you. They don't give a shit about me. They don't even give a shit about the people that voted Trump into office. They don't care about you. You know, they just placate you and try to get you into it, so you will be like, yes, I will vote for you. And it's just because I don't know if it's this sort of idea that God will, you know, bless them. I just don't know.
Yeah, I mean, well, I think that the I'm not sure if they actually believe in this in God blessing anybody. I think that there are some like true believers in that, but I really think that a lot of them, regardless of whether or not you know, God is blessing them, I think that they see the value in the control of that, like the control of like convincing people that, oh, God's going to bless you if you do this. I mean, it's the same thing that like the faith healers do, or the televangelists do. Like, God will bless you if you send in $5,000. Oh, God will bless you if you believe in Him hard enough, and you believe in my power to heal you hard enough. So I think it's more about the control for them in that respect. That, you know, they can control people by offering them this hope that, you know, it's in this all powerful deity's hands, and they can and this all powerful deity can work wonders for them as long as they do what they're told. And so I think that it's really more about a method of control rather than like any pure like belief in it.
Yeah, me and Seth talked when he was on a few weeks ago. We were talking about this, and I don't know, like, I don't know if it's religion, because because like, yes, religion teaches you that there's this all powerful like omni god that, like, you know, is controls like fucking everything. And I don't, and then there's like, you know, the pastors and deacons and priests and all that stuff. There are men are in positions of authority because it's usually men.
Yeah.
9 times out of 10. So, and that they're just used to listening to the person with the loudest voice. I don't know. Or if there's something else at play here, because there are people that go to churches and don't buy this rhetoric and can sniff a con artist like a mile away. So I don't know. I would like to blame religion on its own, but I don't think that is what we're talking about here. We're talking about Christian nationalism, because, like I said, it has nothing to do with theology. They just wrap the fascism in Christian nationalism.
Oh yeah, and I mean, I feel like if you want to see where like women's rights are going and everything like that, you really do need to look at these independent fundamentalist Baptist churches, because like, while it's divorced, like Christian nationalism is divorced from the theology, I feel like the Christian nationalists and the, you know, these fascists, they idolize, you know, they idolize white males, and they will do whatever they can to restore white males to the top of the food chain, if you will, to be in total control of the country. And what that means is that they're going to embrace a lot of these fundamentalist attitudes towards women, like the fact that, you know, they're not going, like they've got a measure up right now called the SAVE Act that is supposed to effectively prevent women, married women specifically, from voting. And so it's effectively going to implement like family voting, where women don't get a vote, and it's just the man of the household that has the vote. Of course, you've got JD Vance that wants every member of the House to have a vote, but only the man can cast the votes. And so what you essentially have is this situation where they're looking to take away women's right to vote. And it's amazing to me that you have women,
Yeah, because
conservative
I really
women.
want to go back to 1919. That's where I want to go back to.
Right? Yeah. I mean, don't you want to go back to just, being barefoot in the kitchen, making, dinner every single night? Like, I mean, I don't, there may be some people out there that enjoy that. Men, women, it doesn't matter.
But it should be, but the whole thing is that it should be a choice.
Right, exactly. And they want to
It's
take
all
that
about
choice away from you.
Like, yeah, but if you're forced into it, it's no longer a choice. Like, this whole idea, like, especially as, and I'm sure your wife feels the same way about this whole idea that we're treated as second-class citizens, that we don't have a mind of our own, we're not educated, we need a man to make decisions for us, and basically, we're here to be fucked and have babies. That is our purpose. After a while, it's just kind of like, no, not that. So I think it just can get exhausting. I think after a while, when that sort of rhetoric is pushed up so much, and now that they want to revert back to that, and we got kind of comfortable. I'm not going to say that we didn't. We're like, wait, hold on, we're losing rights again, and women are bleeding down in fucking parking lots. Because they can't get abortion care and dying, and everybody, and it's just, this is the new normal for some reason. And I don't know why we're getting used to this again all of a sudden. It boggles my fucking mind.
Oh yeah, I have no idea why anybody would be cozying up to these ideas unless they're, white Christian males that are looking to control every aspect of society. And another thing that's indicative of this Christian nationalist and fascist sort of rhetoric are the concentration camps that Donald Trump is effectively building. Because not only he made one in Guantanamo, which I think there's been some issues there with that particular one.
Texas is donating land.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't hear about that, but that makes sense.
Yeah, Texas is donating something like thousands of acres to make camps.
Yeah. There's that. There's also RFK Jr., who wants to build wellness farms to put people that are quote unquote addicted to antidepressant or to depression meds.
Because I don't want to be depressed, so I guess I'm addicted, and no amount of exercise is going to make me not want to take my medication. I'm better living through chemistry.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think I saw somebody say, if you really want to see like some crazy shit, take me off my meds for a long period of time.
Yeah,
you'll see some crazy shit.
It is not going to be a good time, guys. If I'm off my meds, it's not going to be a good time. It's gonna be very sad and depressing, and I'm gonna drag all you with me. And I'm gonna do this show, everything's terrible, and I'll just cry into my wine goblet. that will be the thing. But because you get people that are fucking, they don't know anything about mental health. Like RFK Jr. has a brain worm. So
right,
which not saying anything against brain worms, but I think the brain worm ate the part of his brain that uses logic.
Yeah. I mean, did you hear what he said about measles?
No, but I'll probably get mad at it.
Yeah. Well, so RFK Jr. said that in the past, everybody got measles, and that was the best way to protect yourself against measles was to get measles. And apparently, the people that are getting
people died.
Yeah. He doesn't want to acknowledge that though. But he said that the people that are getting the measles now are getting them because of poor diet. And apparently they weren't.
That's how that works. Okay.
Yeah. And apparently also they weren't breastfed by unvaccinated mothers when they were children or something. Like apparently, if you get vaccinated, uh, when you breastfeed, that doesn't help protect your child against the measles virus. Um, and
Okay,
apparently,
so what
but
if
if
you had
you
your child vaccinated and breastfed?
yeah well
I have questions because that's what I did. So questions. Like,
well, I mean, he seems to think that the vaccine is detrimental to your health. Like as the HHS secretary, he has literally said this, and he's pushing cod liver oil as a preventative for measles and vitamin A. He's also pushed vitamin A. Like if you want to protect yourself against measles, I guess swallow some codfish liver oil and vitamin A pills.
I don't know. I don't know. What's, like vitamin C is a lot of stuff. So like I know I'm like I don't understand. Well, because he's an insane person. I don't understand insane people. I oh god, we're living in crazy town, and I don't, and it's not because like I'm just gonna say that I think some people under the Trump administration don't believe RK Jr. and probably have gotten vaccines and, go to their doctor and, are probably on some kind of like on different mental health medications and blah, blah, blah. Like pick a thing, like we're talking about real people, but Trump, he sucked up to Trump, he bent the knee, and that's the only reason why this motherfucker has power. And Trump doesn't care. He doesn't care that he's spreading around conspiracy theories. He doesn't care that he is doing the pseudoscience bullshit. He doesn't care because Trump only cares about himself. So if you get someone that's crazy doing some shit, he's going to do that's the type of shit he's going to do.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, I think that the reason why they're embracing RFK Jr. and his crazy shit, and I don't think that RFK Jr. necessarily has this particular goal in mind, but I do think that the Trump administration has this goal in mind, and that's to wage a war on the poor. He's trying to create a system where poor people die, and they die because they can't get the necessary help that they need. That they're going to die because they're not going to be afforded the same kind of like quality of food, quality of life in general that rich people are. I think that he's trying to create a system where the rich benefit and they prosper, and the poor just get poorer and they die.
Oh, that makes perfect sense. And it's again, this is the thing about also the poor that voted for him, and this is not all Trump's fault. This is he's an evil human being, and I hope he gets murder hornets in his pee hole. But my issue is that my issue with this is that this is also a problem within our system because yes, we live in we have the ability to absorb the information that we want to absorb and believe what we want to believe and blah blah. It's fine, cool. But the thing is though, because there's such a lack of education, especially like we did a story last night on the nonprofits about Mennonite communities, and musos is on the rise in those communities. They're isolated, like there's certain communities that are completely isolated from actual getting like good health information. Is because like a little bit is because of religion, because we don't want to go to the Amish and like if enforce secular stuff onto them. But it's like, listen, motherfucker, when we have kids dying, like you can't afford to be like let them believe what they want to believe, but also offer vaccines and educate them on vaccines and be like, God helps those that help themselves. Maybe God sent the doctor to make the vaccine. You don't know like maybe he really liked the virologist, like present it that way. Yeah, trick them. Because I think I think a lot of it is how you talk to people. Like if you talk to people like they're stupid, that's not going to work.
Right.
But if you present it as this, God blessed us with, doctors, because that's the way it was sold to me when I was a kid. That God sent doctors and scientists to, figure shit out. And then it was like, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. And I mean, it always kind of perplexes me whenever they say that kind of stuff, because it's like, I don't know why people don't recognize this, but it's like, they're like, oh, God sent these doctors, or God did this or that for you as far as your health goes. But at the same time, like, those doctors had to spend years and years and years in school and residency and everything like that, getting certified and trained to be a doctor, but yet God sent them? Like, I don't know. It perplexes me as to why anybody would think that.
Like, this is me, because if I was trying to sell this to a fucking Christian, like, we all know that, like, you have to go to school, but what you do is like, they don't have God's wisdom, and so they have to go to school, and they have to, because you have to sell it, you're not selling it to you or me, they were selling it to the believer. So you gotta, so these people that want to go in and do, like, education, if I was going to do education to, like, Christian, isolated communities that are, or just an anti-vax person, okay, like, you have to speak in their language, not the way you and I would talk. You have to speak their language, and I think that's also kind of where this comes from, and that's why we're seeing the rise of, like, RFK Jr. and his stupid brain worm making decisions about health. It's just because nobody said, like, wait a second, hold on, like, don't, like, because people weren't going into these communities and saying, like, this stuff is fucking insane. So
yeah. I mean, I wish more people would push back on that, like, and people that they would listen to, like, pastors and all that. Like, I wish that they would speak out against these very blatant uses of their religion to push this fascistic narrative.
Fair, Scott. Fair. Fair. That's a different question for a different show, but but yeah, I think there is that sort of issue of people not having, well enough of an education. And now we have, Brainworm Man in charge, thinking that measles is, wait a minute. So he thinks if you didn't breastfeed your baby, and you're unvaccinated, that you'll get. I'm so confused.
He thinks that if you're unvaccinated and you got the measles when you were a child and survived, that for women, if you breastfeed your child after having the measles, then you pass on that immunity to your child through the breast milk.
That's not how anything works.
No. And I mean, there are certain immunity.
No, I'm sorry. Go ahead. No, like, there are certain, like, there are certain immunities your baby will have, because you already have a robust immune system, so you're going to pass some of that on to your baby, and they're going to have certain protections for them, but that has nothing to do with viruses. Like, measles is a virus. Like, it's not going to prevent viruses. It just means they might get colds less. Like, that's
exactly
that's what that means.
Yeah, exactly. But the RFK Jr., he wants to act like he seems to know more than doctors do, and he just simply doesn't. Like, he's not trained for that. Like, he is responsible for an outbreak in American Samoa, I believe it was, where children died because he was telling them not to get vaccinated. He is responsible for the deaths of children due to a preventable disease. and he's running the Health and Human Services, and so we're all pretty much fucked. He's going to round up everybody on that is clinically depressed or on any kind of like medication, for any kind of
That's
issues
me. That
they
I'm
might
going.
have. Yeah,
I am,
and
because I've been on an antidepressant for years, and I
yeah,
can't function without it. My brain, because I can tell you, day 3 of me missing my med, I started to feel it.
yeah, and I mean
Because I've talked to the levels.
yeah, and he wants to put everybody that he rounds up with that into concentration camps and force them to farm food. Of course, he's portraying it as, oh, you're going to this farm as long as you want to, and you can detox there from whatever kind of like medication you're on, and you can farm your own food and you can eat healthy food while you're there, as if that is going to cure clinical depression or any other kind of mental issues somebody might have.
Yeah, that's not how that works. Because if we could do that, we wouldn't be on medication. That's the whole thing. And if he is addressing like the issues with nutrition, if he was just dealing with, for example, the issues with factory farming and the issues with, with the actual American diet, because we give all these subsidies to corn farms for, like that, I get, if he was doing that and being like, I want poor people to have better access to, good nutrition. I want people that live in food deserts, like that. I would be like, yeah, cool, man, you do that. I like that. But no, he's not doing that. He wants to tell me, because I'm on an antidepressant, which I need. I literally cannot function without it. This is maintenance. and I go to therapy every 2 weeks just to kind of keep myself sane. He thinks that's all bullshit. And that's insane. That's insanity. Because that's not how mental, it's a chemical imbalance. That's all it is. That's all it is. It's just a chemical imbalance.
Yeah, and he just doesn't want to acknowledge the science behind it whatsoever.
RK knows we're talking about him. He's calling you.
Yeah, yeah, he's definitely gonna get me sooner or later, but
it's just a matter of time.
Yeah. But as far as like how all this kind of factors into the whole Christian nationalist thing, it's Christian nationalism at its core is about restricting your choices and forcing you into a system whether you want it to be there or not. And I feel like all of that plays everything that RFK Jr. is doing plays right into it. Everything that they're doing with the Department of Education plays right into it. They don't want an overarching government entity that's making sure that public schools are funded and equally serve the community. They don't want to do that. They want to specifically target Christian schools. They want Christian schools to be the ones to teach children and indoctrinate them into Christianity so that they are good little manufacturers in the world. They want to indoctrinate them to the point where they don't freely think anymore. They just react and they just operate on what their pastors and priests, teachers have been telling them to do. That's literally all that they want them to do.
Well, I remember, there was some public discourse about the American school system, about how it operates like a prison, and I believe in education reform, and we have to educate kids to their strengths, and and there's different types of children, there's different types of way of learning, and I agree with all that, and there were starts, which I thought was great, but now we're dealing with, now we're going so far on the pendulum swing that we're just going to make a bunch of little fucking automatons, and which is insane, because if you want your child to not be a free thinker, your child should be you know, you like, as a parent, I'm a guide. I was a guide, and like, I raised my kids and I love them. And then like, I was like, okay, you can be a functioning adult, fly free, little bird, go. You know, I did my job. You know,
Yeah.
but these people want extensions of themselves. Your children are not extension of yourself. Your children are independent beings unto themselves, and your job as a parent is to make sure that like they don't kill themselves before they turn 18, and like maybe they'll grow up to be kind. That's kind of your job. You know, give them food, clothing, shelter, medicine. Make sure they feel safe, and hopefully they'll grow up into a functional adult. That's your job.
Yeah. You know, what you said falls right along with the whole Christian theocracy kind of thing, because they put a heavy emphasis on like respecting your parents and doing exactly what your parents want you to do. You see that play out so much in fundamentalist households, that I think that's exactly what they want, is to create little extensions of themselves and vicariously live through, you know, their children. And you know, I don't think that ever ends well for the child at all. The child doesn't get to develop their own sense of self or their own identity. And I just don't think that Christian nationalists seem to care about that. Like, they don't care about allowing people to have individuality. They don't care about people being able to make decisions for themselves. They want God to make the decisions for them. And again, going all the way back to, it's just a severe method of control. Like, religion was always a method of control, but it's like Christian nationalism really kind of turns that up to 11, and like really enforces like the control on an entire nation of people.
Mm-hmm. Right. And I think that's the thing that I a lot, and the sad thing, and I want to remind everybody of this, like, people that believe this extreme stuff, like, they think they're the good guys. You know,
Yeah.
they think they're on the right side of history. They will say things, you know, they're the type of people that Hitler had some good ideas. Like, these are the type of people we're talking about. And because no one wants to be the enemy in their own story. You know, nobody wants to see themselves as flawed. You know, we all are, but they don't. But to protect our egos, we'll do these mental gymnastics, and we all do them, by the way. You're not immune to them. It's just, as a skeptic, you kind of go, you are more willing to receive feedback, and you're more willing to have some introspection. Some people don't do that.
Yeah.
And they do that psychological protection because everybody does it, but they've never been taught the tool. And also someone to go, hey man, you're acting like a fucking asshole.
Yeah, and I mean, I've been like, people have approached me with constructive criticism about how to handle a certain thing, or maybe some language that I need to try to change, and like I've taken their advice into serious consideration, and I've made changes. I know that I'm not immune to like the inherent like misogyny or racism that is kind of ingrained into my generation, especially living in North Alabama, you know, the asshole of the South, basically. So like, I mean, I've changed several different attitudes I've had over the years, and it's because people have brought it up to me as like, hey, you might want to change the way you say this, or you know, this thing, and you know, after careful consideration, like, I'm like, yeah, I need to change that. That's a bad thing to do, and I think that is the major difference between you know, skeptics and I guess Christian nationalists, is that, you know, Christian nationalists are hardline about, this is what God wants, this is how you act, this is how you do everything, and it's not about giving good solid reasons to make changes or to do something. It's always just falling back on, well, God said to do it, or because God says so, or something like that.
But
They
did
just
God
fill it in
say
with
it, or
God.
did a man say it? Because he's usually a man, because you can have doctrine to, you know, say to love your neighbor, and to, you know, and Jesus is kind, and, you know, turn the other cheek, and, you know, love your enemies as you love yourself, blah, blah, blah. Or you can say, hey, I didn't come, you know, I came with a sword. and to fight everything, and that only people that are Christian are the good people, and then fuck everybody else. It just depends on the doctrine, because you point up like hate preachers, again, they think they're the good guys.
Right. Exactly.
So I know you have a hard stop at 8. So tell the people where to find you, and it'll come back in the summer. So
tonight I was kind of working on a compressed schedule with just now getting in for free flow and everything, and we still need to eat and all that other kind of stuff. So sorry I've got to go so soon, but if everybody wants to check me out, I'm over on if anybody's on Facebook, I'm on Facebook at Godless Engineering, and then all the other places I'm just Godless Engineer. I make content surrounding atheism, as well as religion and or politics and atheism and religion, how all of that intersects. And so if you want more content about that, you want to stay entertained, just check me out on any of the social media places.
Your link is in my doobly-doo. So
awesome, thank you. I've shared this discussion on the community page on my channel, and I'll be sure to share it out other places too. So hopefully we can get you some subscribers.
Thank you. I appreciate that. All right. I will go enjoy the weekend. I'm sorry I'm not there. I'll tell you all why later. but go enjoy. Say hi to all our wonderful friends while you're there, and send my love. So, and have a good time.
All right. I'll see you later.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
So I'm going to hang out for another half an hour, because usually the show's for another hour and a half. So I'll just talk to my fucking chat. So you can bow out. All right. So I'm going to hang around for half an hour. So because usually the show's an hour and a half, and I don't have anything to do right now. If you want to leave, it's fine. But if you want to ask me questions, I'll answer them. That's cool. But yeah, so I am going to recommend, if you want to hear a progressive Christian talk about, their concerns about, what the government is doing, and why we kind of pretend I'm talking to a mirror. Okay, I'll pretend I'm talking to a mirror. I really recommend you listen to the new evangelicals. I really like this guy. He is very much pro LGBTQ. He is a feminist. He is anti any sort of bigotry, which I think that those of us, again, we can debate with someone about theology, but I think it's really important to hear people that do have beliefs, but are kind of hey, things are kind of fucked up right now. And I think those type of conversation is really important to hear. That's kind of, I'm just saying, I'm trying to, be that type of person that because things are so bad right now. Everybody, I hate it. I made this joke that it's CERN's fault, because if they weren't doing all these fucking particle accelerations, we wouldn't be in this fucking situation, because they pushed us into the bad place. So that's kind of where we're sitting right now. So that's kind of my feeling on it. You can take that for what it is. But that's kind of where I am right now. I'm trying to be more accepting of people where we hold different certain ideas, but on the major things about being kind and holding and having compassion, and that we can have different ideas, but at the end of the day, it should be about treating one another as human beings. Nancy's here. Nancy, you missed John. He just left. But you're here. Hi. I was on the Apostate Sisters channel on Sunday. And I think the video is going to be up this week, and we're going to talk about my journey. You should go subscribe to their channel, and they're going to be on my show on May 29th. So that's coming up. So I will go over my schedule real fast. So on Monday, if Scott is still here, Scott's gonna come on Monday, because this is the thing though. I'm starting to get kind of booky, and I have to, like, if I don't want my guests to wait till the end, until June 12th, to be on my show. See you Tuesday, honey. No, you're gonna be on Monday. Scott, you're on Monday. Yeah, Monday. Yeah, you're on Monday. So he'll be on Monday, and then David Fitzgerald's going to be on Thursday, talking about his new book, which I'm reading his book series right now. He's going to talk about playing God. I am halfway through the first book, The Evolutionist History of World Religions, and he signed all 3 of my copies. So, because I'm special. So he's going to be on. He'll be on Thursday. Next Thursday. And then one of my friends is going to be on the following week talking about labels. We call him Ducky, but I met him. I met him because he was part of, like, the hangout crowd when before me and my husband met, and then we became friends, and then we got reconnected through the Satanic Temple. We're no longer members of the Satanic Temple, but he is a very big supporter of atheist activism, and he is trying to take a step into the online realm of atheist activism. So we're going to talk about how labels don't define us. So we're going to have a conversation about that. And then on March 27, Ethan Michael, your friendly neighborhood atheist, is going to be on talking about community building. So that's what I have coming up. I'm very excited. So, and I know Scott told me what he's talking about next week. I forgot to put it down. So, but I'll put it down later. You should just like and subscribe, because it's gonna go. I'm gonna make thumbnails, and it's gonna be a thing. So that will be up. So, yes. Also, AJ will be on. AJ's going to be on the day after my birthday. So AJ is going to be on. Are we still talking about veganism, AJ, or are we going to talk about something different? I think I put veganism on your topic, so I hope so. So, okay. I'm just going to say, y'all, like, I have met some really wonderful people in this fucking community that I'm like, even though my channel is really small, like I just dig it. Like, I'm so happy right now because I just know so many amazing people, and this is my way of, like, finding joy in the darkness, because usually every day I'm like, oh my God, I live in the bad place. And the fact that there's so many wonderful supportive people in this community, and we all need each other right now. I'm just like, to steal a blessing, to steal words from a Christian, I'm counting my blessings right now. So that's where I am. I'm also almost out of wine, so I'm kind of sad about that. I like mushrooms too. Oh, just so you know, AJ, my whole office is at work is kind of dressed like a hobbit hole, and I have mushrooms all over my office. So I like weed too, and also potatoes. Mushrooms, potatoes, weed. I could live the rest of my life on mushrooms. I could too. I could live my whole life on mushrooms and potatoes. But variety of potatoes, like I would do sweet potatoes, white potatoes, russet potatoes, those little red potatoes, like all the potatoes, great. Also the weed helps with the existential crisis. So, I might just have to switch to that if RK Jr. says I have to go to, like, a wellness camp. Oh my God, kill me. I'm just going to have to smoke weed and just kind of endure it, because I don't know what else to do. Oh my goodness. What is going on? I'm sorry. Sorry, not sorry. I find this whole thing just insane. So yeah, that's going on. I have had purple sweet potatoes. Those are also very, very good. Those are super yummy. Let's talk about potatoes, everybody. About potatoes. Oh my goodness. So much. Yeah, there's going to be so much weed. So much weed. And I have my medical marijuana. I do have my medical marijuana. I wonder, okay, this is the thing. I don't know what RK Jr.'s stance is on weed, because it's natural. It's a plant. So, it's not, and I mean, like, technically there's botany going on with weed. We all know that. But just saying, would he be okay with weed because it's a plant and it's natural, quote unquote? Because, like, if that's our future, like, like, if I can't be on my antidepressant, but if I can smoke weed, that might make things okay. Or I don't know. I find the whole thing. You have all of my weed too. Like, I just don't, guys, I just don't understand this. Like, I don't, because I find this whole thing fucking stupid. Like, I don't understand why someone that and again, I shouldn't blame it on the brain worm, because I'm sure there's other people that have brain worms and they're perfectly we have not grown. Okay, so Mark, to answer your question, my husband is building a garden in our backyard, and I think we're going to grow sweet potatoes, I believe. So, and we're going to grow a bunch of like Florida friendly plants. We're going to grow like Seminole pumpkins and like these plants of like I forget what type of spinach it's called, but he's growing a bunch of pigeon peas and all these vegetables that are very easy to grow in hot subtropical climates like Florida. So we'll have potatoes. So that will be cool. Because also as well, food's getting expensive. So we're gonna build a garden. Like, actually, he's gonna build a trellis for some of the plants that are gonna be growing in our yard this weekend. So, and also he's gonna buy me a lime tree, because I told him, now that we're living in our new house, that I really, really, really wanted a lime tree. So I'm going to get that. That was the most important thing to me. I have a code. There are millions of weed-loving libertarians in Trump's word. Maybe we can inspire weed kids in between them and help them save the world. Right? Okay. Listen, y'all. Listen. Like, I think that if we can get all the gardens are a mess for my son. Like, my husband, like John, my friends do, like, my husband's doing most of the gardening. I'm gonna admire it. Like, my thing is doing podcasting, and because like I want to grow papayas too. I really want to grow mangoes. I might have to get a mango tree too, because I love some mangoes. We had, you know what, AJ, we had an orange tree, and when we lived at our old house, and the rats got to it, so we had to take it down, which is kind of a bummer. But like, I definitely want a lime tree, and I'll probably have to get a mango tree, because I love the fuck out of some mangoes. We're gonna do lime. I don't like lemon as much as lime, John. Like, if I'm gonna be biased, I'm gonna be a lemonist. I like, I'm like free the limes. I don't care about lemons that much. So if you're asking me, I guess I'm a lemonist. That's the only acceptable, like, kind of atheist you can be, is that you can be like, against certain fruits and vegetables, but not people, because that's the way I kind of feel about it. So I'm going to be a lemonist. I think limes are the superior fruit. They're so uncultured. Okay. Lemonades, yes. I think you can't be kind of is against like certain fruits and vegetables. I think that's perfectly acceptable. Not people, but like, if I'm going to be limes are superior. Thank you, Nathan. Thank you, Nathan knows. So, but just don't, like, I think that's perfectly acceptable. Fall greens like bok choy. We're gonna grow bok choy. I don't know if we're gonna I don't know if we're gonna be growing broccoli, but that's a good idea. Now I'm thinking, because I love me some broccoli. Now I have thoughts. Like, I am gonna me and my roommate are gonna start growing, because I live with my husband, and I live with one of my dear friends, but I call them my roommate, but they're just family. And then I live with my oldest child, because mortgages are expensive, and I really like my house. So that's where we are right now. So I live with three other people, and it doesn't really fucking matter. Anywho, so me and my friend Connor were talking about how we're gonna do like an herb garden in my yard, and I want to grow like sage and like lavender and mint and oregano and that stuff. Broccoli is a winter vegetable. Yeah, I live in Florida. There is no winter. We get really fucking hot, less hot. I need to wear a sweater, and then it's just back to hot. So that's pretty much the seasons. Like it's been really nice though lately. It's been in like the 70s, and I started working out again and going on walks because I put on I was working a very active job before I got the job I have now, and I put on some weight, so I want to get back down to where I was. So we're doing like this whole like getting in shape thing. So we've been walking every night, and it's been so nice because the air has been really fresh and it's a lot more comfortable to walk around. And I'm just going to relish it for another month or two before it gets really hot as balls in Florida. Those of you that live in Texas know. So. Do Christian nationalists have any for lines or something? Don't let them have any, or potatoes. They can't have lines for potatoes. Like, okay, like, all right, we were talking about weed before. Okay, for my fellow takers of the devil's lettuce. Don't, like, this is my kind of thinking. Like, I thought, like, because the weedness got started like really big with like the hippie culture and like American culture, and then those motherfuckers grew up to be like capitalists, or like they grew up to be boomers, and then they turn into buttheads. And I'm like, what happened to like all the free thinking and like free love and and protesting the Vietnam War and like dropping out and all that shit? Like, what happened? Because like I'm kind of sitting there like I always like just me like I think in a past life I was a hippie. I just don't get it. Yeah, they grew up to be, well, like there was that whole counterculture movement, like Jesus freaks. I think that was like the counterculture movement of the hippies. So it's just oh no. Okay, well, AJ, like if you just move to Florida, I will give a space to your husband, and you can just get your medical marijuana card. So thing is, like it's really hard to like make those laws illegal once they are legal, because so many people relying on these products, and like also too like the stuff that is still technically weed, but it's like 1 or 2 molecules off, so they can like sell it. Like that stuff is really fucking popular, and it's not like the K2 and that type of shit that was making people really sick. Like it's technically marijuana, but the chemical, like it's just a couple molecules off, so it skirts under the government regulations, which I find hilarious because science. So I love it. But that stuff is strong. Like some strong shit. So yeah, it should be like, yeah, I don't understand. Yeah, the Delta 8. That's what we have. We have the Delta 8, the Delta 9, the 10. And I also have a medical marijuana card, so I also get like flour, and I also have like gummies that I can get. It's all this. It's pretty much the same height. It's just like the Delta stuff is really strong. Like I eat like a half or a quarter of a gummy because I made the mistake one night of having a whole one, and it was not a good time. Helen was not happy. Helen threw up because it was just not a good time. Just made DA illegal again. What is going on? Okay. Why does the government not want people to be happy? I don't understand. Like life is hard enough as it is. Like, and it just sucks. Like life kind of sucks. And like we're all like there's going to be some kind of chemical substance. And then like with like doing weed, like I don't get violent. I just sit there and watch like SpongeBob and giggle, like or like hang out with my friends. Like I like that's all I'm doing. Like if I'm drinking tends to be like a little bit more of a Robin Williams did this whole skit of like weed versus alcohol. Which was hilarious but true. That's usually how it goes. I'm not telling you anything you motherfuckers don't know. It was really great. I once had a sip of my husband's. Like I had to cancel. I love you, AJ. I had to come on your show, by the way. Just saying. I'll just because that's what I do. I invade other people's podcasts. So, oh. By the way, everybody, just so you know, I have an announcement I'm very excited about. So, I'm going to be working with Recovering from Religion Australia, and I'm going to be the head of their growth, advocacy, and fundraising team. So, I have my first meeting tomorrow night with the heads of the RFR, because I'm really good friends with Sherry D'Souza, who is the head of RFR Australia. We're very good friends and I love her. She's like, love that girl so much. Anyway, so we are going to have our first meeting tomorrow night. And also once I figure out what I'm going to be doing with RFR Australia, Durante, because he's doing his, I think it's called Bridgeway. I'm blanking it right now. Charity as well. He also asked me to help him out as well. So once I told him once I figure out what I'm doing with RFR Australia, once I had a better understanding of that, then I could figure out, how I could integrate my skill set and to help Durante's foundation kind of take off and help. So Bridge City Global. Thank you, Ms. Non-Sequitur. I knew it. I'm like, is it Bridge City? I knew. I can't keep everything straight in my brain, everybody. I apologize. I am adorable. But also my brain doesn't always work correctly. Question doctrine. Well, that's the thing that I was talking about, Nathan, about like the main injection is we just make you lazy. Oh yeah. Well, like you have to do like a psychedelic, but like I can't do psychedelics anymore because like this is the thing like about psychedelics is that if you're, and I'm not promoting this, by the way, so, I'm not promoting you do psychedelics, do your research, talk to your doctor, all that stuff. Like don't listen to some random girl on the internet. Okay. But because when you're on SSRI or an NSRI, and I'm on an NSRI, I am on Wellbutrin for my depression until, Brainborn Man tells me I can't take it anymore. I have to go to a wellness camp. Fuck this guy. Anyway, it does the psilocybin uptake inhibitor or LSD inhibitor that part of your brain is not functioning the same way if you're on an NSRI because it affects the serotonin pathway and your dopamine pathway. So you'll get like a body buzz, but you don't get any of the visual or audio effects, which makes the whole point of taking a psychedelic mute. So there's a fun fact for you. So, I watched a whole video on psychedelics with Kelly Loeffler. I love it. Oh my God. Like I do miss it. I'm not going to sit there and pretend I don't, but I love Kelly too. He's one of my favorite. Like I love Kelly. Kelly's going to tell me not to tell you not to do this, but I'm going to tell you anyway. I have a GoFundMe for him. Because he was going through some shit. But like when we were facing getting kicked out of our house like 2 years ago, almost 3 years ago, he was the first person to offer us a place to live. And he was the first one that encouraged me to get involved with atheist activism because we met on the Atheist Community of Austin Discord. If you're not there, you should be. So go do that. but we met through there, and then that's how I got involved with the Atheist Community of Boston. That's how I got involved with recovering from religion, and in a weird way, he kind of led me to do podcasting. Though Neil inspired my show, like I don't think I would be here without Kelly, because he was the first person to like be like, I think that you should do like more. So I really like, emotional, but he was one of the people that inspired me to get involved in these spaces. So yeah. Anyway, sorry. Sorry, having a moment. So I do have a fundraiser for him. He's doing okay right now, but if you can throw him like a few bucks, the money comes to me, and then I just send it to him via PayPal. Because like I was just like, dude, like I want to help. So that's kind of where that is. So he's doing okay right now, but like he also has some medical shit coming up because he's been through so much medical stuff right now. That house, yeah. Psychedelics are compatible with okay. Are they compatible with Wellbutrin? Because last time, oh, okay, because I'm on Wellbutrin, and I'm trying to think. Did I? Oh, you know what? I had LSD when I was on Wellbutrin, but it was bad LSD. Now I have questions. Okay, I'm not promoting doing drugs on YouTube, by the way. Just doing science stuff and thinking about it in my brain. So, no, I don't take. I just take an NSRI. I just have the NSRI, which I'm on Wellbutrin, and then I'm on Adderall for my ADHD, which I definitely need. Is he going after ADHD drugs too for the neurodivergent people? Because that's really gonna fuck me up. I don't know. Like the thing is though, if my video is not working, I have no way of knowing. Oh, I should check. I can check my YouTube feed. I can do that. Am I working? Am I working on the YouTube? Asked Helen. Am I working? I don't know. Oh, I might be frozen. Oh, okay. Well, I'm sorry. I don't know why, because like also too, I was really like I was trying to get thing is a series of static images. Okay, I don't know why. I'm sorry. So I don't know. Because I'm hardwired into my internet, and like before, it's very weird where I because sometimes it's perfect. Is the audio okay? Is the how's the audio? Maybe the audio is fucked up. If I don't know. Oh, the audio is fine. Okay, I don't know what's I don't know. It might be my upload. Okay. Oh, okay. So okay, the audio is fine. It's just the visuals. It'll probably have to. It just started with the choppy video. I'm hoping, possibly, maybe. Probably. I might be getting delayed. Yeah. This is the thing, like y'all. Like I live in a very rural area. I have T-Mobile internet. It was worse when I had satellite. Oh my god, fuck satellite. By the way, everybody, like that is some racket. And I stopped doing any sort of podcasting when I had the just the what the fuck am I using my for? When I had the satellite, because it sucked. But right now it's a little choppy. I apologize. Unfortunately, there's nothing I can do. It is the internet. I am hardwired into my internet right now. It might just take a little bit for it to catch up. So I'm sorry if I'm choppy. But I can still talk. Like I'm very good at that. And like AJ, I understand that you're like taking a break from your show. That's fine. Your eyes are bloodshot. What? Oh no. Oh no. I didn't have any of the devil's lettuce. So that's just sad. I don't think I'm bloodshot. I hope not. Yeah. So did anybody give up anything for Lent? Like my friend Car from Recovering from Religion, like sends me this and Car and I are very, very good friends. Like I would do war crimes for that person. Like that's like they're my people. Probably consider them like in my top tier most wonderful human beings. They're like, do you give up anything ironically for Lent? And I go, no. Like, I'm like, do you count church? But I just given that up altogether. So, did anyone give up anything ironically for Lent? Because Tuesday was Fat Tuesday, which okay. I'm just gonna throw this out here, and like, I'm not against Mardi Gras. I really want to go to either like Key West for Fantasy Fest, or I want to go to New Orleans for Mardi Gras. I have. Lent is currently going on until Easter. Yeah. This Tuesday was Fat Tuesday, so we are officially in Lent. So I give a Lent for Lent. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Like, I remember like I would give my mom would make me give up things like ice cream, like when I was a kid, like ice cream or candy or something like that for Lent. Like I like we only ate fish on Fridays during Lent. It was just this whole thing. I never cooked anybody. Oh my God, John, kill me. Oh my God, I love you guys. You're so funny. Like, but okay, this is my thing about Mardi Gras. Okay. Like, and I'm not poo-pooing on it at all. I just find it as someone that was Catholic. Okay, like that is my wheelhouse. Mardi Gras is the most unreligious thing ever. There's drinking and titties and beads and debauchery and all that type of stuff, which I think is great because as a heathen, like titties and alcohol, fan. But just saying, like the whole thing's just weird because I'm just like I think I just need to look up the history of Mardi Gras and why it started. But it's because it's basically like I don't know if I would probably go to Mardi Gras, but I'm also like in my late 40s. Yeah, don't need another excuse to get drunk. Like, well, also too, like there's wine. There was a big debate. We did it like Asia. Yeah, AJ was on that episode. We were talking about nonprofits where, like, can you drink wine? Like, and doing gluten-free bread for, like, the sacrament for in the Catholic Church. And there was, like, a big debate about it, which I thought was really fucking silly. Because, like, why does God care if there's gluten in your, like, little wafer? I don't understand why the chemical compound and it especially if you believe in trans oh fuck, I can never remember that. And I should know it as a Catholic. I'm gonna fuck it up again. Transubstantiation. Bam. Why it should matter? These are the questions I ask myself. Yeah, I got it. I don't know why I cannot remember that word. Okay, because also too, in the church that I went to, it wasn't literal. Like this is a big debate within the Catholic sects, is transubstantiation like really, really true? Like there are Catholics that literally believe that they are consuming the body and blood of Christ, which makes them a cannibal. And there's the other Catholics that are a little bit more liberal and say that it's just symbolic. That I grew up on the it's symbolic. St. Patrick's Day. I'm not a big fan of St. Patrick's Day because as a former pagan as well, the reason why St. Patrick's Day is celebrated is the St. Patrick, that all the snakes he drove out of Ireland, which is also not 100% a complete true story either, was the pagans. But he did bring Catholicism to Ireland, and fuck that guy, because paganism is way more fun. Just saying. So I don't celebrate St. Patrick's Day, even though some of my ancestors come from there. but beer. I don't like. I'm not okay. Like my relationship with beer is kind of like we date, but it's not going to be a really good relationship because like you're just going to make me kind of bloated and lazy, and that's not my thing. I'm like I'll have like one, and that's fine. Like I am a wine person. I am wine and tequila. That is my. Mwah. I am French. Love me some wine. I had to read and see if you're right, but I'm still not. Yeah, I'm going to be 48 on April 9th. So very good skin. Stay out of the sun, gal. Stay out of the sun. Yeah, I was. I look younger for my age. I'm going to thank my mom because my mom has also been blessed with very good genes, and also don't go in the sun, everybody. It will just save your skin. I'm a vampire. No, they are not. Also, I need a refill. I should probably tell husband that I need to refill my wine. I'm almost out. This is fun. I'm glad you guys decided to hang out with me in my chat. Like, this is really cool. It's very nice. Just to have really wonderful. Okay, no, it's fine, John. I'll see you. You're gonna be John's gonna be on my show. I have you on my calendar, John. He was on my show. I'm thinking of Phil. Never mind. John's gonna be on again though. I'll just book you for the summer. My next open spot is June 12th. So, for 19 years, the rest of us can get any time now, right? Oh my God, did he die yet? I feel like I'm waiting for. This is my third pope, in my lifetime, which is kind of crazy because John Paul II, I think, died when I was like a teenager, and then there was Pope Benedict, who was terrible. Like Pope John Paul II was awful, and then like Benedict just took that torch of awfulness and kind of ran with it, and now we're with like the kind of progressive pope, but not really. Because they're like we should be nice to gay people, and I was like, John, I'm listen, I'm just going to point out to you that my mom is French Canadian and does not have blue teeth. So, maybe I need to drink more wine. Maybe that's the trick. Maybe that's it. That's what I need. I think I just need to drink more wine and I'll have blue teeth. I don't think that's really a life goal though. Unless you want to be a Smurf. No, Smurfs don't have blue teeth. Which is also, yeah. That's happening. I'm trying to tell the husband I want more wine, please. Wine fairy. He's a wine fairy. Fiery. I refill. Cool. This is the thing about like having a wonderful. Like my husband is a supporter. And one of the ways that he supports me is that he brings me wine. I can't like listen, y'all. Like I don't know why. This is the thing, okay? About like, okay, where are my Catholics? Because if you did not grow up Catholic, the whole thing about selecting a new pope is wild. It is. That's why Brigello took it back and insulted queer people. I know. So fuck him. Yeah, he was like progressive for like a hot second, and it wasn't like, like gay people get equal rights in the church. It was just like just be nice to them. But then but also said some awful shit about the gays, which I find ironic from people that have done awful stuff to children. Because even if he didn't do anything, he's complicit. So you're kind of the worst. So yeah. Well, listen, if you're not going to get laid, you're going to be drinking a lot of wine. That's the way I look at it. Because you can't have sex in the Catholic Church, which wasn't always a thing. If you're a cardinal or a pope or whatever, like you could have sex and have families, And then I'm not sure when it changed. I think it came out after the Lutheran Reformation. where then they were like, maybe they shouldn't be sticking their doings into vaginas. I don't know. It's all really stupid. Because at least the bad stuff. Like if you have a fucked up view of sexuality, then it's going to lead to fucked up things. Also, too, like people like pedophiles go where the kids are. Where are kids? At church. And people have this, default trust of religious figures, and that makes it very easy for priests to do terrible things to children. By the way, the reason why I left the Catholic Church was because of that particular, libraries, schools, little league, like pick a thing where kids are involved, like that you'll find awful people. Like I'm just using the church as like a particular example because people put religion in such high fucking esteem. Okay. Like I love the Catholic Church because of that particular scandal, because I'm a survivor of childhood SA. Not by the church, just through different circumstances. And so I was like, hell no, I'm done. But what was really interesting, because the spotlight thing was only a state away, because that was all like the Boston, Massachusetts diocese, and our bishop was part of that diocese, because Manchester, New Hampshire is really close to Massachusetts. It's only like an hour. So he was part of that particular sect. And my CCD priest unalived himself after the scandal came out. Now, luckily, my parents never left me alone with a priest. Thank goodness. Like my parents were very much like, if you're not a trusted family member or friend, you're not watching our kids, even if it was a priest. So I'm very much grateful for my parents for that. Like they just kind of saw like your job is to teach us about like doctrine, not to like look after our children. So that was really great. But I just found that kind of telling that he unalived himself when all that stuff came out back in 2002, 2003. So, and that was the thing that made me leave the church, because I was like, I can't be part of any organization that's kind of okay with like raping children. Not great. So yeah, that's why I left. Christian priest with Nazi ties ran as sex cult and almost got away with it. Yeah, yeah, I know. Like this is the whole thing. I don't like. This isn't my problem with the statute of limitations, y'all. Like those of us that, especially people that suffer, like childhood sex trauma, like you don't really come to grapple with that until you kind of get into adulthood. Because you don't know how to when that trauma happens to you. And this is done through trauma studies, how we understand PTSD, especially childhood PTSD. Like this whole thing. There shouldn't, but there are statutes and limitations for, childhood SA though. Like, okay, for example, right now, because the Catholic Church is terrible and they suck, and they're a criminal organization, and I'm going to stick by that fucking statement. They want to, they have these lawyers that will go in and they don't want to be able. So like, let's say like you're my age and you want to bring a case to the court that you were, your priest abused you back, it will vary by state, but like there are certain states where there are statutes of limitations on childhood SA, because it's difficult to prove. It's just really weird, and like so there's some issues, but there are lawyers that will work to try to not have that go forward, and they are also fighting to limit like what kind of sentences these priests get. This is what the Catholic Church is doing because they suck really bad. So, hi, husband. Husband's trying to open the door. So I'm just like angry. I'm just mad. I'm a very mad person. So, well, you mean the civil liability doesn't have it, but I'm talking about the legal repercussions, because it's the same thing that happened with Trump, because the woman that he got the civil conviction, like that's why she was awarded all that money, because like there was enough evidence to bring the civil case forward, and she was awarded that, but she wouldn't be able to bring it forward because I think like the essay that he did to her was like back in the 80s. They couldn't prosecute him under the legal standard where he would have faced like any sort of legal consequence. It was just monetary. So yeah, it does help to have multiple accusers, and I think there was enough evidence to bring forth, because I think one of his assaults was on an airplane. I was listening to NPR and she was on talking about it. It's just so horrific and sad. Oh my God, I can't believe I'm talking about this person. I hate him. I hate that man. 27 counts. 27 counts. 27 counts. And people are like, that guy. I don't understand. I just don't get it. Like even if Joe Biden had even one incidents of like sexual harassment or assault, I'd be like, yeah, you don't deserve power. You just don't. You don't. I'm just that way. I'm sorry. Unless he was like, he came forward about it and he showed that, like he made amends with the people that he had harmed, and, harm reduction and all that type of stuff. Like, I do want to give people the benefit of the doubt and for them to mature and become better people and blah, blah, blah. I want that, but I'm just saying, like, it's fucking stupid. Because I hate this shit. But like, no, let's give someone power. And like these people over and again that are terrible people get power. I just found out that Matt Walsh like is under scrutiny for having sex with an underage girl and doing sex trafficking. I didn't know that about it. Because Matt Walsh is terrible. I hate him, and now I have even more of a reason to hate him. But like that was new. Yeah. Oh yeah. Bill Gates. What? Wife divorced him over. Like these people. Listen, I don't know. I don't know what is about being like rich that like you're. And I'm not saying all rich people, because that's not fair. Because I don't think all rich people are like abusers or whatever. Epstein, yeah. Oh, Epstein was worse. Oh boy. But like I don't understand, like if you're I guess because like you don't live in the real world and you don't have problems and there's no consequences. Like you can buy judges off, I guess. I don't know. I don't know what about being like really, really rich makes you kind of turn into an asshole. I have questions. I'm just saying. I don't know why it would turn you into an asshole, but I'm just saying that for some reason it does. And yeah, who was it? Was it Trump it was Trump or somebody that wanted to forgive like Tate? Like I don't get it. I don't understand why billionaires. Andrew Tate's not a billionaire though. I don't think so. Like his net worth was not in the billion. Like maybe I don't know. Tate net worth. Okay. So, why there's no official public statement on Andrew Tate's net worth, sources indicate his online ventures, including courses like Hustlers University and the real world, generated an estimated $5 million in revenue monthly in August of 2023. So that's nothing. That's pocket change to people like Trump and like Epstein and Musk. So, so that being said, I don't think that and so I don't understand, like Trump allowed Tate to come over to the US. Yeah, I also too why? Well, because Trump doesn't think women are people. So that's part of it, my dad voted for Trump the first time around, which kind of pissed me off because I was like, Dad, did you forget about the grab them by the pussy thing? Did you forget that? And I love my dad, like, and I miss him. He passed away in July, but he didn't vote for him again, and it wasn't because of the whole like SA thing. It was because of COVID, but still, like, it just kind of speaks to straight white men and their like, and I'm not talking about you guys, like, because you're all really cool. I'm just talking about, like, and the general, either the populace of straight white guys, of and people that don't see other human beings beyond themselves as people, like, because it's gross. So that's kind of how I feel about it. Because I'm just like, why would you, like, I don't understand. I just don't understand the world we live in. And this is why with the whole Christian nationalism movement, I don't think this is why they're not real Christians. Because there's this whole attitude about, like, my makes right. This whole, like, they talk about the family, but they don't really care about families. They don't care about children. They don't care about, they don't care about, the well-being of their fellow other people. They don't care about kids. They don't care about progress. They don't care about people having access to, education and medicine. They don't care about kids growing up to be the best selves. Like, they want to get rid of fucking Sesame Street. Like, what is going on? I don't understand. Like, I never thought I would live in a world where Elon Musk is like, we can't have Sesame Street. And I'm like, why? Why can't we have Sesame Street? But because he's a butthead. Like, it's just very, like, we live in opposite land. It's opposite day every day. That's it, because I just don't understand how to have a creepy collaborator from the far right pagan community too. What? As far, look up I'm not even gonna bother to pronounce that. Well, who is that guy? Ignaz Semmelweis helped inspire Islam to go around the world. But pagans aren't Islamics. I'm so confused. Like, I know he was really into, like, like, he got into the Muslim religion. Like, I knew that part because I heard him on a couple. Oh my God, he did, like, okay, so he did. There was a stranger in a strange land. That's a whole thing about that's a whole book about polyamory. Let's not talk about entertainment. It comes to that book. Oh my God, who is this motherfucker? Like, now I'm curious. Okay, okay, Hungarian physician. Okay, Ignaz Semmelweis was a Hungarian physician and scientist of German descent who was the early pioneer of antiseptic procedure to describe it as the savior of mothers. So, was this a guy that told people, like, to wash your hands after you, like, handled babies? When says me he wants government money. I want, like who wants to punish Big Bird? I don't understand. Okay, yeah, this was a guy that the maternal mortality rate dropped by 18% to less than 2% after he published a book on findings, etiology, concept, and I've heard this dude. He was the guy that was like, hey, wash your hands and people won't die. Oh my God. Troubled by the mortality discrepancy between two. Yeah, this was the guy. Okay, so why did Tate like this dude? I have so many questions. How does this guy relate to Andrew Tate? Okay, observational evidence, because his ideas were ridiculed. Is it the same dude? Is it the same dude? Okay. Well, how is he related to Andrew Tate though? Because this guy, like, was basically like, "Hey, wash your hands, and maybe the infant mortality rate will go down." like I remember I remember watching a whole thing. I remember watching like some kind of like documentary about this dude or something. So inclusion as a Google Doodle beginning promote watching during the okay. Why is he associated with Andrew Tate? I need explanations. Oh, it's the same. It's this. Oh, it has the same name. Okay, so I had to put. I was like, why is this dude has to do? Okay, so Andrew. Okay, I'm gonna put. Okay, that'll probably help. Okay, these are the results. Okay, so from the Guardian. Okay, what's the Guardian say about this motherfucker? Okay, this is from the Guardian. This is from 2023. Okay, so the man who grew in the world. Yeah, fuck him. Continually juxtaposed, he deletes and okay. Blah blah blah. Behind the Bastards did a really good episode on Andrew Tate, which I thought was really, really interesting. I love Behind the Bastards. If you are not listening to that podcast, you should. I'm learning. They're doing a whole podcast about how somebody read a this is like the a whole bunch of like internet subcultures, but like this particular internet subculture was really into like the AI and how it was a whole thing. But they read like a Harry Potter fanfic, and because they read this Harry Potter fanfic, they inspired them to kill people. It's really interesting. I'm not doing it justice, but like go listen to the podcast. It's very good. Go to listen Behind the Bastards. Go do that. I'm gonna highly recommend. Just know AI, death cult, Harry Potter fanfic. That's all you need to know. Just go do that. It's great because weird internet subcultures. Okay, let's see. Iggy Semmelweis. Does he hold the key to his empire? Okay, I'm sorry. Like, I'm gonna fall down this weird rabbit hole of Andrew Tate. Oh my god. Oh my god, this is so weird. Who are these people? Oh my god. Okay, yeah, Andrew. Okay, Only Tate Semmelweis doesn't seem to be after fame or money and appears to live modestly in LA. So what is Janet Shea says to take over the world, I guess. Eli, the former member, replies matter of factly, considering one statistic revealed in the film. Okay, so there's a film. There's a film? What? Oh my god, I don't understand these. I'm not am I not on the internet enough? Am I not on the internet enough to understand these like stupid little weird. Bye, John. Mwah. Bye, honey. I'll see you next week. Thank you for being here. What the fuck is this shit? Tate Online School. Okay, like Tate deletes the okay, this is the article I'm reading. I'm gonna put it in the chat because this is fucking wild. Oh, thank you. Oh, did anything great? Yay. Okay. That's the art. Okay, I'm putting in the chat. This is the article I'm reading from the Guardian. What the fuck? How do we get here? Okay, so let's see. Okay, what is going on? This is insane. Presents. Oh my god, I don't. Wow. Why haven't I heard of this dude? I was more excited about the guy that, like, invented hand washing. So, mothers didn't die and were turned into morgues in the 1800s. Like, I was way more excited about that. And then I find out about more grifters and terrible people. Oh, no. What? Go down the paragraph that says starts with much more. Okay. All right. Okay. Okay. Much more thing is the fact that Shea managed to pin down a key accomplice of Tate's who'd been flying firmly under a radar. A 60-something American known as Iggy Semmelweis, self-styled spiritual leader and great hypnotist of the world. Wow! This article shows that Semmelweis is the real mastermind of the war room and used Tate, already a notorious misogynist who ran a business streaming sex shows, as a figurehead of his own enterprise. Oh my God, now I have to find out about this dude. Like, why do I do this to myself? Who is this motherfucker? Oh my God. He's awful. I hope he gets murder hornets in his pee hole too. Who is this dude? Okay, so all right. Let's see. I'm gonna look at the British GQ article. Okay, I agree. Yeah, okay. Okay. All right. So in a handful of the TikTok clips, okay, blah blah, TikTok. Okay. Oh, there's a Vice's Max Shea, an Emmy-nominated documentarian, no stranger to oddities and absurdities, shares an unprecedented time with 30-year-old wannabe Gileadian and his wider inner circle, with his wildly abrasive Tristan to various henchmen with silly names. Okay. Oh my God. Okay. The War Room. I'm going to have to watch this fucking documentary now. Wow. Oh, I'm going to have to watch this documentary. I'm probably going to be very sad and angry at it. Okay. Yeah, please. Yeah, I love Behind the Bastards. It's one of my favorite podcasts. Let's see, and you should, don't blame yourself. The TLDR is that he's a former pagan orbiter. He's in a bunch of far right MGTOW and anti thing OTO. Oh, OTO. Yes, this is my wheelhouse, because I used to believe in weird pagan bullshit, and I went to an OTO ritual when I was a pagan. Oh my God, that was weird. Oh my God, the OTO is fucking insane, everybody. Like, I'm just gonna tell you, it's Sunday night, not so. It is like, the OTO is its own weird thing. Just saying, it's its own weird thing. So now I'm fascinated. Somebody leaned on Romania to get them to spring teas. Oh, okay. It's particularly offensive for the trafficker to soil. Right? Like, why? It's a new. Oh my God. Like, now I kind of want to watch this documentary. So I can make fun of it, because I'm sure it's terrible. I feel like, okay, this might have to be a thing where I had to watch it with other people, like, and get like high and drunk and make fun of this stupid documentary. Like, I don't think I can watch it on my own. I might have to like get friends together and like watch the stupid documentary and find out like why he's such a fucking edgelord, because Andrew Tate is the worst. Oh yeah, okay. So I'll share about I'm gonna go get more wine first, and then I'll share about the OTO. So give me 1 minute. I'm gonna refill my wine glass, and I'll tell my OTO story, because it's a trip. So but I need wine for that. So let me go do that, and I'll be right back. So give me 1 minute.
I mean, we went to that one where the guy who was part of the OTO. No, it was an OTO public ritual. When? Where? When we were friends with Crazy Chrissy, and she was a member of the OTO. Oh, like, are you talking about where they had a cool room with like the weird forks on the wall?
It was a public OTO ritual.
That was a friend of Wendy's. But yeah.
No, we weren't. No, Crazy Chrissy.
Okay. Oh, I didn't go. I think I might have missed it.
Okay. I got more Cabernet. Now we can talk about it. Oh, I did lift my leg on. Sorry. You heard me talking to Todd then. Okay. Oh my God. Yeah, we can do a launch party. Oh, we should have MST. Oh, we may have to do. Oh, we should do it on Discord. Oh, that's a good idea. We'll have to be. Oh, we'll make plans. We have to do. Oh my God, we have to do it. We're gonna do it. We'll do it on the Discord. We're gonna make plans, y'all. We're gonna make plans. Okay, so let me tell my weird OTO story. So, okay, I got my wine. Okay, so back when I was a pagan, we were friends with this. Her name is Chrissy. We call her Crazy Christy because she was. And now, and like speaking of that person, she became like a Trump supporter. It was a whole thing. It was a time. So she was so the OTO and people there, and this has like this particular sect had a relationship with the Freemasons. Now, if anybody knows anything about the Freemasons, is that they don't allow the women's, which I don't really care about, because like if you want to have your own like men's club, that's fine. But they also do a lot of also the Freemasons do a lot of like charity work and do a lot of stuff for their community and stuff like that. So I'm not gonna like shit on them a whole lot. Like if you want to have your boys club, I don't really care, as long as you're being like decent people. I don't care. But this particular sect of the Stonemasons was kind of hanging out with the OTO. Now the OTO. Okay, now let me give you a little bit of context for the OTO. I'm gonna bring up the Ordo Templi Orientis. I'm going to put, for those of you that are not particularly associated with this particular group, I'm going to put the link in the chat. So you can, this is the wiki page on this particular sect of paganism, occult secret society, hermetic magical organization. It's a whole thing. Funny enough, people like L. Ron Hubbard and other culty people were really into this particular form of occultism. So that's interesting, because there's like a subset called the Golden Dawn that like L. Ron Hubbard and other like weird culty people were really, really into. I think also, was it Freud or was it Carl Jung? I don't know. Somebody else was like also like prominent that was into it too. It's like it's a whole thing. Anyway, but Crowley. Okay. Oh, Crowley. Oh, you wonderful, wonderful person. So like if anybody knows about Aleister Crowley, he was also that this was like his baby, and then it kind of took off. Now, Aleister Crowley. Wow, that's an interesting figure. One of my favorite figures within paganism and occult, and not because like I like him, it's just that he's a very interesting dude. Like he's kind of, and also like he was such a wackadoo, and the fact that he was called like the most evilest man in Britain, even though he never really did anything, like he didn't hurt anybody. Well, okay, rephrase on Crowley. He was bisexual, but and he was really into ritualized sex magic. And he didn't really have a problem with like getting women to sleep with him, like because it was like this whole high priestess thing kind of thing. But what he did was he would try to convince like straight men to have sex with him and like ritualized sex magic and kind of manipulate them into doing it. And it was like a thing. So that wasn't the best. So like he was just a very interesting dude. Plus like his whole like ideas when it comes to like power and the will and that type of stuff. So if you want to like A Magical Life is a really good biography about Aleister Crowley if you want to look it up. Yeah, Obase is a modern variant of the OTO. Yeah, that you are correct, Nathan. Thank you. Anyway, but the OTO is basically a 19th 20th century occult. and it's still in practice today. And it attracts pagans and people that are into very like ritualized magic, very into that whole sort of like thing. It's also very cool. Like a lot of former Catholics really like them. They were a cliche, basically barbed wire. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So that's okay. So with the OTO, their organization, like they're part of the Gnostic Catholic Church, and it's a whole thing. It's very weird, like the way that this all kind of comes together. Is Vance in the Opus Dei? Get the hell out. Okay, yeah. Also the OTO really likes white people. So anyway, but they're kind of okay with queer people to a certain extent, depending on the sect. It's all very confusing. It's just like any other fucking weird religion. Okay, so OTO story. So I'm a pagan. One of our friends that was part of the sect that I ran, because I was a high priestess in the pagan religion for 10 years. Okay, so story time. So, okay, Nathan's making that up. Okay, good. I was like, really? Okay, so here we go. So story time. So, my Chrissy's never going to see this, so I'll just use her name. So Chrissy was part of the group that I was running. So it was called the Order of the Night Star Rising. Me and my best friend were facilitators, and we basically ran this group. We were very liberal. Like this was not like me telling. This was basically like I'll give you a little subtext. So our particular group, our attitude was everybody's a student and everybody's a teacher. So we would facilitate, but we weren't trying to like indoctrinate people or say like we were the absolute authority or anything like that. We saw ourselves as educators and leaders, but we were not. I wasn't like keeping tabs on it because like I would make a terrible cult leader. People, I'm just too fucking lazy. So anyway, so Chrissy was part of our group, and she really liked ritualized magic. She really liked the things with like the Freemasons and the OTO. Now, the thing about Chrissy is she's a former model and very attractive. Now, you can see where this is going. Okay, hi Wesley. Okay, so this is where we're going with that. Okay, so so the OTO would have public rituals, and so she invited us to go to a public ritual, and it was like, okay, I don't know what that was, but okay. So moving on. So Chrissy was like, "Do you want to go to this public OTO ritual?" And we're like, "Yeah, it's fine," because like I was getting into high ceremonial magic at the time. Wesley, you're in the wrong chat. Sorry. So she invites us to go to this public ritual, so we went. Now, I really like. I love a ritual even now. I love a show. So we went to this public ritual. When we first arrived, like the people were like welcoming but kind of standoffish because like you get the sort of vibe that like we weren't the type of pagans that they were looking for. Okay, I don't know what this guy's doing. All right, I'm sorry. I had the fucking mod. I don't know what's going on. Okay, anyway. Anywho, so like they invited us to this ritual, and I was like, cool. And they were kind of like a little standoffish, a little weird, but like, you know, I am a flexible person. Like I was like, you know, well, you know, this isn't really our place, this isn't really our bag, you know, maybe they're just like, you know, they're just not feeling us, and that's fine. You know, I don't expect everyone um like I don't expect like, you know, you're in a new environment, they're not used to us. No, that's fine. But so sorry, I kicked out Wesley because you just like spun off shit and I'm just like not interested. Anyway, so we go. And we meet the people and it's fine. And they start giving us all these instructions for the ritual. Now, I've conducted rituals. And we set up certain expectations for that and so on and so forth. And that's fine. Once again. So we were like, okay, that's fine. And we were like, okay, that's like, we'll have these people as part of like the chat, you know. Well, I'm sorry, I'm getting distracted. Okay, so we get invited to the OTO, which we go. We meet the group. They're weird. They're just weird people. Like they were friendly, but like in this really standoffish way, almost like snobbery, because they're like, well, what do you practice? And I said, we're eclectic pagans. You know, I'm a high priest. You know, I said I was like, you know, facilitator and high priestess of my group, and these are my friends, and blah blah. Chrissy introduces us. So we meet the leaders of these ritual. This was a few years ago, so don't ask me on names. I don't think it really fucking matters in the story anyway. And they're kind of like, oh, okay, so you're here for like the public ritual, and they do these like a few times a year. And I think this is also for a way for people to be drawn into joining the group. So we go. So it was just really, thank you, AJ, thank you. So we go, and we were witnessing this ritual. Now, the only way I can describe what happened was it's like people having sex without actually having sex, because the whole thing with Crowley, the OTO, and all that type of stuff. Now, if anyone has read the Da Vinci Code, it kind of plays into this a little bit because the Opus Dei kind of plays into that too. Like if you read that book, like that's, yeah, I know, right? Okay. So it kind of intersects, okay? Because the thing with like ritualized magic, especially in certain occult magics, everything is about the divine masculine and the divine feminine. And when and this is just in general with like paganism about like nature is that like everything's about sex, because you need the masculine and the feminine, and they need to boink. So this way you have creation, you have life and things like that. But also in certain like occult and pagan sex is a form of power. It infuses like your magic. People do magic spells when they fuck. It's a whole thing. And like, did I do this? Yes. But that being said, did I maybe have some sex and cast some spells? Yep. Anyway, so this particular ritual, like they do this whole thing where like they build like a cone of power. They did this whole thing with the divine masculine, divine feminine. Now there's like this sheet that goes up and everybody's kind of in a circle. Okay, so everybody's witnessing this ritual is all in a fucking circle, and the priests and the priestess that are leading the ritual are behind like these sheets, and what they're clothed, but what they're doing is very, very, very almost are like it's very sexually explicit. There's a lot of moaning and groaning, and but there's also like spell work going on. So they're like calling down the divine masculine, divine feminine to go into their bodies and be like built up, and then like the energy is supposed to come out. I know I know what I'm describing. It's really weird. Like, even though I'm like, I sound like a crazy person even just explaining this, but anyway, so they are doing this very high ritualized magic. Now, me and my best friend, who we were co-facilitators in this group, and he's still my best friend to this day. He's the person, one of the people that I call him my gay husband. I would commit war crimes for. It's just another kinks are kinks. Okay, yeah, you think it was a king, Nathan? But the thing is, though, is like no one was prepared for this because they didn't say, "Hey, this is going to simulate sex." Like we were just kind of thrown in to it. Like usually when you have some kind of ritual, like you, and there's new people attending, you kind of tell them, like, this is what to expect. This is what, they did explain the ritual to us, and they did explain it. They said the joining of the god and the goddess. When we did it, it was like you had your wine, and then an athame would like be dipped into the cup to represent the masculine and the feminine. Like it wasn't like the suggestive sex act, So actually, dear God, Euro kink, ritual kink. I know I'm so rude. So like, if you're not like prepped, it's a kind of because I like me, and I'm high, by the way, because like me and my friend Vincent at the time, we did a lot of, like, I did more weed than I do now. It was a lot. And so we were like, like we're gonna smoke a little, and we were like outside, and like, yeah, we're gonna smoke a little. And then we went in. So I'm like, so that added a whole other layer to this fucking ritual. And I was sitting there going like, why does this feel weird? Because like this was one of the, because like I was very used to my group and other circles that I kind of swam in, where everybody like we didn't really do this like culty weird shit. Like it could have became that way, but like I again, worst cult leader ever. I'm so fucking lazy. And it was basically like we were a bunch of solitary pagans, like all learning from each other. Where like this was more like you're like, this is like baby steps into a cult. Like this is what this is. This is like, if you like this, then maybe you want to do more to join. And there's usually this whole rigmarole with the OTO to get to the level. Yeah, it felt weird because they were creeps. Thank you. Yeah, it was just weird because I'm just like if they had said like we're gonna simulate a sex act, we would have been like, okay, at least we're prepared. That was not said. So I was like, what is going on? And my friend Chrissy at the time was like, she was already into this. She had already, like, she was trying to initiate herself into the OTO. And I think because like she couldn't she was friends with people that are Freemasons, and they were she said they were considering letting women in. And I was just like, you're very pretty, Chrissy. Like she was a former model, like really like very, very pretty. And these are like older white men. Like, you know where I'm going, guys. You know where I'm going. So I was like, okay. But she was also very attracted to OTO because she really liked order structure. Weirdly, she became a Trump supporter. So let's all follow the pattern, everybody. So I was like, okay, like this isn't my vibe. Like, we like, even when I was pagan, like, there's a term in paganism called, you can do ritual skyclad, which means that you are naked. Now, we as a group dynamic did not perform naked ritual because like, unless you're buying me dinner and I want to have you in my bed, there's no reason for you to see me naked. So I don't do that. And and we're friends. Like there's like, the rules, like, like there's certain people that you're comfortable with being naked in front of and other people that you're not. I'm not 100% comfortable being naked in front of my friends in a group setting. Yeah, is it Chico versus Cultimus is Chico versus Rational Thought. And like there's fandoms and things like that we can talk about where like if you're really into Lord of the Rings or Dungeons and Dragons and you have like little keywords and things like that. Like I was thinking about like I was listening to Behind the Bastards this morning, and they kind of mentioned this, and I agree with this. Like, I can say certain things to a group of my friends and say one word or a phrase. Like if I say witch fishing to my group, my Mormon pagan group, we will all die laughing. That is a particular phrase that we still laugh at and that nobody else has context for, but we do. Like that's a little bit of a cult dynamic. Like little words and phrases that belong to, so like the OTO operates the same way. Like, and this particular, like, you know, public ritual is a way to like ease people in, because if you're okay with people like doing a simulated sex act that you were not prepared to know about, and you're like, this is cool, you're going to want to talk to them afterwards. Like we laughed because I was just, like, most of us were very uncomfortable. Like Chrissy was like, oh, wasn't that great? And I was just like, no, Chrissy, like it was fine. But, and I chalked it up to a learning experience about the OTO because it's very ritualized high magic, which is, when we're talking about high magic versus like low magic and ritualized magic within the pagan community and occult community, these have very specific terms. High magic is like ritualized magic. It usually requires all these fucking steps. It's kind of like doing sacraments or anything like that. And with like a regular religion, it's kind of like that. Versus like low magic where you celebrate a Sabbath or you do kind of a spell work, but it's not, it would be like just going to church on a Sunday. Same kind of idea. You're just doing, you know, like I say, all the same salad, different dressing. So it's kind of like that. So I'm sitting there going like, okay, we went. And I was just, and then I realized like, this thing is not for me. So afterwards I was like, okay, like, let me do like a little bit of, you know, stuff about like, what's going on with the OTO. And there is reports of obviously of abuse, because like here's the whole thing about when we're talking about things like the OTO, you know, the Golden Dawn, these sort of like subgroup occult sort of religions, and especially when it's like this, it's related to feminism. Now I'm using the term loosely because they put women in these very like high priestess, you know, divine feminine sort of roles, but it's still under the realm of men, because you have to remember Aleister Crowley, who started this whole thing, is a product of his time. He was alive during the 1800s. He did a lot of drugs. He also was a sex fiend, and like not in a healthy way. Like not in like, you know, I really like to have sex and want to have like this free love, you know, consent kind of thing. Like, because I remember what I said about having sex with, he was bisexual and trying to convince straight men to have sex with him as a form of ritualized magic. Like he kind of probably did the same to women, like saying like, you know, you are a reflection of the divine, and women that wouldn't normally had sex with, what he would have sex with them under the pretense of a religion, probably did some abuse. Kind of just trickles down. Yeah. Was big on coercion. Exactly. Like like there are people that still think Crowley was like this great guy. He wasn't. He's got problems. Like that, like A Magical Life's a great read. I'm not gonna sit there, but I still have the book. It's a great read. Because it's done by people that like outside of Crowley, like it's not an autobiography, it's a biography. Like the Malik Order of the Golden Dawn is another one. Okay, so let me tell you who remembers the Golden Dawn. Oh boy. There were, okay, so there were so many interesting people that were part of the Golden Dawn. Like I said, I think like I said, L. Ron Hubbard. Some other people were also in part of the Golden Dawn. No, that's not Christopher. I don't want Christopher Hyatt. Fuck him. Where is this? The Golden, because like we have a golden. My husband has a Golden Dawn tarot that the artwork's really cool. Like I really like. There's some stuff in the Golden Dawn that I kind of dig as far as aesthetics, but they're a whole. It's just a thing. Okay. All right. Okay. Hold on one second. Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn. Okay. Okay. All right. Let's see. Secret Chiefs, Golden Order, blah, 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 blah. Okay. So, noted members were, let's see. Crowley was a member. Frederick Gardner was also a member. Let's see. William Westcott. Yeats was a member. WB Yeats was a member of the Golden Dawn. Let's see. There was a Algorian Blackwood, who was a British writer, radio broadcasters of supernatural stories. Was there was a whole bunch of like weird people that were part of it. I think why the reason why I think like L. Ron Hubbard was kind of interested in the Golden Dawn is because of cult tactics, because a lot of the thing with like the Golden Dawn and the LTO, it's all about the will. So the will bring forth into your life what you want back into it, but also like there's this sort of idea of Southern California with Jack Parsons. Okay, wait. So L. Ron Hubbard studied with the third of my bodies in Southern California with Jack Parsons. That's right. Creates ontologically pre-existing the New Age. Yes, thank you. Yep, thank you, Mark. Yeah, I think it was really because of cult, because these are all little cults. This isn't like, it's an occult religion. It's a cult. Everything's a cult. It's a cult. I also too like. But I also think too, like when we're talking about this type of stuff, like I think in paganism, like this is my thing. Like my major thing, I'm just gonna let y'all know, is that with my particular activism, I like obviously I have a problem with organized religion, especially Christianity, only because like I live in the United States and it's a thing that just permeates fucking everything. But my major thing is paganism, because that I was a leader in the paganism community. That pool I was like deep into, and I actually know more about it than I know more about my Catholic upbringing. I know more about it than like Christianity. And all I see when I'm looking at religion, when we see these smaller sects of like paganism and occult movements, new age woo-woo shit, it's all the same stuff. But and my concern is that the people that leave religion will kind of fall into these other sort of like subgroups. That's my concern, because it's what I did. I left the Catholic Church. Good for me, but I didn't leave the magical thinking behind. I didn't let go of. I had to learn to be a skeptical thinker, and also to like, as my husband said, I took one set of silly rules and replaced it with another set of silly rules. Like I took one silly belief and just replaced it with another. But it was more based on my personality more than indoctrination. Because the thing about paganism, it has the trappings of progressivism. It is very female positive. So it's a very feminist positive religion. It is very queer positive. It is very racially inclusive, and so on and so forth. Kind of think Jim Jones, with, his sort of, it's not that extreme, but it can be, because like, if you have these trappings of progressivism, and most people, especially in like, people that are progressive and they believe in social justice and they believe in, bringing these movements up, change, they can fall into these groups. Now, is this. Yeah, and then like the Golden Dawn and stuff are the Christian, because they're like, oh, this is the occult. Okay, but it's still same high priest and high priestess. You still have people like, following certain orders or certain rituals you have to follow. Like, again, like remember there was I went to a public ritual of the OTO. There's private rituals where the public doesn't have access to. And now we have the internet. We kind of know what's going on. Like, we have more information what goes on in these private rituals that, now we have the internet. But before that, like, you had to be part of the secret club and they had to be part of the secret thing. That's my wheelhouse. Like, my wheelhouse is looking at these occult and new age pagan systems and kind of sounding the alarm about that, because that can be just as damaging or even a little bit worse than organized religion, because vulnerable people, especially like people that are in like subcultures like myself that are female and queer, can fall into these cultures and be harmed. And they're just looking for belonging, because especially if you come from religion and you're like organized religion and you're not accepted as a woman, you're not accepted if you're queer, you can fall into these weird subgroups. It's like the thing about what I mentioned about the Bachelor's episode. That's for trans people that did start doing this weird little adorable things. So everybody can fall for like terrible shit. And that's kind of where my wheelhouse is when we're talking about weird things. Hey, don't do that. Like it's just weird. Like the whole thing that the Wiccan religion got started was because of Gerald Gardner, which I'm convinced this is kind of a joke within the Wiccan community. Oh no. Okay. Now it's just choppy. And my image is gone. All right. Wow. That's disappointing. I'm at the stream. The image is back, but stop. Is my audio better? Because if the audio isn't working, then we're done. We'll find out. Is the audio working? I don't know if the audio is working. Can people hear me? All right, maybe I should ask the chat. I'm assuming, okay, it was choppy, then it was okay, then back. I don't know. Okay, is the audio okay? Okay, as long as the audio is okay, we can worry about choppy images. It's fine. I don't like, I'm doing the best I can, guys. But like, so what was I talking about? I was talking about weird shit. I was talking about weird cult shit. So like, that's kind of my thing, because like it is just a weird sort of. It's just weird. About this whole thing about religion and how like everything is just like people trying to make like man search for meaning. That's what that's what everybody's trying to fucking do. Like, we as atheists, like, we are choosing our meaning, but we're still looking for meaning. Like, but like people do it through either religion or do it through weird weird subset of like weird occult and paganistic and new age woo-woo shit, or they can do it through mainstream religion, or they can do like some weird little subset. Like when the podcast is going to be on, that we're going to talk about the doomsday cult that they grew up in. About, because like I was telling them, like, cults are my thing, guys. And like, wait, I just call fucking fascinating. I just do, because like was like on the fringe of Venus. Like, it's just so fucking weird. Because like for someone that didn't grow up in a cult, like I grew up Catholic, but I was like a liberal Catholic, and then I became like a liberal pagan, and someone that just like wasn't into conformity. Like I can't, you've, for all of you that have know me, do I look like I conform? Like I was a goth. Okay, I don't believe in conformity. Weird queer goth. Like I don't believe that shit. It's stupid. Like I never really fit into that type of shit. So cults to like really be into it, like that type of stuff, like I find so crazy. I just do. And it's like not because like I think that anyone that got like was raised in a cult or got like, you know, are just like bad people or whatever. I just find the whole dynamic of thing. Like I watched a whole thing about like a TikTok dance cult, you know, I think it was on Amazon or Netflix, like one streaming service. They were it was Hulu. It was Hulu. I'm talking about this weird TikTok dance cult where like influencers that are actually like really incredible dancers, and to get clout and fame, like became part of this TikTok dance cult. Like that was a thing. Twin Flames, another one. Wow. Twin Flames, holy shit. Where people became trans and we're not quite sure they were trans or not. That was a whole thing. It's just weird. But it was also like heteronormative, like trans stuff, because there wasn't enough like heterosexual people to like do like the whole like your twins flame, you're supposed to be with this person, whatever. And they would do like heteronormative stuff, or they would make like certain partners be like, you're the male and you're the female. And I think some people were genuinely trans, and then there were some people that just transitioned because the cult told them to, and that's really bad for the trans community, because like for people that already think like trans people are already like being like influenced, or it was just very toxic and bad. But like that was a whole thing. Like this is the type of stuff, like if I could talk to younger Helen that you should study cults, I would probably be like a sociologist or an anthropologist of cults. If I could go back and like, I probably get like my degree in, you know, my psychology degree and like an anthropologist degree, or a Scientologist, not Scientologist, Scientology, sociology, not Scientology. Oh my God. Sociology and psychology, like degree in cults. Cause like, I just find the whole thing just like fucking crazy. Jordan Peterson was JP the second. Oh, John Paul the second. Oh, the Opus Dei is fucking crazy. Like that's another one. Oh my God. Like Catholics are extreme enough. Do you really need to go this high with like the Opus Dei? Like that's another thing that's like nutty nutso. Oh my God. So Opus Dei, yay, is let's see. And like the Post Foundation, it's not that old. It was like 1975. So it's like in my lifetime, because I was born in 77. And then Pope Francis, so Pope Francis, the one that's about to die, issued the apostolic letter in the form of a motu proprio, that's Latin, ad charisma twinum, which seeks to safeguard the charism of an original foundational spirit and intended to confirm the prelature of the Opus Dei, authentically charismatic spirit of the church, specifying his organization in keeping with the witness of the founder. So he also like had a hard on for the Opus Dei. So great. Sure. Like it is. Damn. Let's see. Yeah. Relations, Catholic leaders. Fuck Pope John Paul II. Fuck that guy. Oh, but Pope Benedict wasn't really into it. That's kind of interesting. And I hated Benedict. So Do I give points to Benedict for not being part of Opus Dei? Do I give points? Ask myself those questions. Okay, so it took a turn. Yeah, it did take a turn, right? Let's see. Let's see. Argues the relative autonomy of each director center and mistakes at the local level. Okay. I kind of want to there's a little bit of part of me that if I ever go to Rome, I kind of want to go to the Opus Dei. Like, I don't think they let me in because I'm a dirty heathen, but like, I kind of want to go to the headquarters and see if I see some interesting stuff. Like, I just find this whole thing, like, as a former Catholic, it's just weird. Like, because religion is weird. It's a weird thing, guys. Like, you know, just this whole men trying to find their life and religion. It's fascinating. Like, can't help myself. I just can't. Oh, and Neil Gorish. Oh, okay. Yeah. So I don't know how we get from Opus Dei. We went from I don't know how we got to the OTO, how we get here. And then we got to the Catholic Church into I don't know how we got here. It was a weird rabbit hole. Turn it all together. I don't know how it happened. It was a weird road, everybody. Anyway, if you want to hear more weird pagan stories, I got a bunch. I should do a night where I just read from my own pagan shit, because I can reframe my journals of things that I wrote. Because that was like there was a thing when I was in that religion. I have a whole bunch of stuff that I could tell you guys. I should read from my old journals and stuff like that. Also, too, like I still have my War of the Night Star Rising binder with all of our spell work and rituals and stuff like that. I just keep it because I love looking at like memory lane and to see where I was like in 2007. You know, really good. Like, it makes me happy. I also have an old notebook of poetry in high school that I'm really thinking of doing like a poetry reading where I just read my poems from high school because they're bad. They're really bad. I think, somebody might appreciate them. And also I can just put it on the internet for prosperity. So future generations can hear bad poetry from the 1990s. That was written by like a 15-year-old. Anyway, I'm going to shut things down. I'm now, I'm back. Oh, I'm coming back. Okay. So I was just talking to myself. Okay. It's the audio's gone. Like if I talked about my weird, and stuff, like, would that be interesting to people? I don't know. It's interesting to me. But I don't know. And I also read my bad from school because it's bad. It's really bad, but also funny. It's deep, like a puddle. So you can do that too. I don't know. Like, I can teach you how to do palmistry and I can teach you how to do that too. How to do Reiki. I can teach you how to